What's up, beautiful people? Welcome to Etching Life with Ayanna, a podcast where we sit softly, speak honestly, and reflect deeply. My name is Kamisha, but here you can call me Ayanna. And just like you, I'm navigating the layers of life. This podcast is my corner of the world, carved out for healing, storytelling, identity, and personal transformation. So whether you're listening from your bed, your car, or your own little corner, welcome. Come sit with me. And this is Etching Life with Ayanna. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Etching Life with Ayanna. Oh my goodness. It has been some time. This is our first episode of 2026. We did 2 episodes in 2025. And I thought they were good episodes. I feel like life kind of lifed after talking about etching life through a pivot. And I feel like my life has been doing some pivoting. After that episode, I kind of just opened up everything for myself. Didn't know I was talking to myself at the time in which I was talking about pivoting. But nevertheless, we are here today. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. I have missed doing these episodes. I have missed recording. I have missed just being intimate, vulnerable, really just talking about things that are matters of the heart for me. So here we are today, talking about etching life as a doula. When I'm recording this, it is World Doula Week. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So all the doulas out there that are putting in work effortlessly, day in, day out, no matter how hard, no matter how good, no matter how anything doula work may feel to you. Thank you for the work. Thank you for answering the call. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the people that have come before us that were doulas. Thank you for people that are thinking about becoming doulas. Do it. It is as daring and as daunting as it may feel to you, but so many people are waiting on you to be you, so that you can support people throughout their journey. There are so many variations of being a doula. There's so many ways that you can show up. There's so many ways that you can just be, no matter what, show up and be you. That's all you can do. This episode talks about, I don't know, I'm just speaking from the heart. I wrote up so many things to talk about on this episode. I woke up today and was like, nah, scrap it. We'll see what comes right off the top of the head, right off the top of the dome. So here we are today, recording this episode. So this is Etching Life with Ayanna. Let's get into it. So to me, a doula is a person that stands in the gap not only during labor, but all the parts before and all the parts after. Everybody talks about, oh, I can't wait for baby to get here, baby to get here, baby to get here. But having a baby is a marathon. It's not a sprint. You're not going to wake up today and be like, tomorrow I'm going to run the New York City Marathon. No, that takes time, that takes training, that takes effort. Same thing with pregnancy. You are pregnant for about 10 months, roughly, give or take your story. But during that time, you have to do some intentional planning. You have to do some intentional thinking, not just about what clothes I want my baby to wear, how I want their room to look, but as the person developing this human, which is such a cool thing. But as a person developing this human, you have to sit and think like, how can I better myself during this process? How can I prepare to have the birth that I envision? I think everybody can go through pregnancy. And I say this all the time. I can interview 50 pregnant women today, and every single person will have a different experience, a different story to tell. No one story will be like the other. No one location can be like the other. No one nurse, no one midwife, no one doctor will have a similar experience that one person will have. So to think that, well, if I do nothing on pregnancy, I will have the delivery that I want. No, you have to be intentional. You have to put in some work. You have to put in some effort. And with the works of a doula, you can have somebody that is in your corner to not only fight and advocate for you, but also help you know, like, okay, what should I be doing? What shouldn't I be doing? Because there are doctor's appointments Can be 2 seconds long. Hey, you good? Everything fine? All right, cool. See you next week. No, but wait, I had a list of all these questions. Or you get to the doctor and then you have all this anxiety and you're like, oh, I completely forgot to ask about X, Y, and Z. And then it's a nightmare to try to get back in touch with the office. You have to wait 2 weeks or a month until you see them again. If you don't write it down, pregnancy brain really does exist. And then you forget everything. So having somebody that can be there to advocate with you, to help you be like, hey, these are some things that you are experiencing. Hey, these are some things that could help with that. But also talk to your healthcare provider. These are some things that we are kind of concerned about. These are all the things, and things. So, why did I become a doula? Oh, that's a long story, but not really. I became a doula because I was working. Let me go back. I started working at the Atlanta Birth Center in 2020. No, I started working at the Atlanta Birth Center in 2016, 17, I believe it was. And I always knew I had a love for pregnant people. Similar to what I was talking about in my pivot episode. I knew that I had a love for pregnant people, just did not know how that love would turn into some avenue of what I would do in my life. And I knew that, like, deep down inside, there was something that drew me to being around pregnant people. I grew up babysitting everybody's children. I was the oldest of my cousins. So when the adults wanted to go out, they said, Misha, you're up. You're watching the kids today. I'm like, cool, whatever. Those are my babies. So I had no issue, no problem. My little sister and I are almost 11 years apart. She is 2, my baby. I helped raise her when she was little. So I have been around children, been around babies, been around people that have had children for quite some time, really all my life. Really all my life. All my cousins, we spent summers together. So I was always the oldest. So I was the one watching them. But I don't know if that's where my love for like pregnancy came from. That's where my love for like caring for and nurturing on like the postpartum side. I think that is where that came from, because I was watching kids from like baby to probably like 11, 12, somewhere up in there. So, or I was 11 or 12 and everybody else was younger than me. It all kind of runs together as you get older. That's neither here nor there. But nevertheless, I've been watching kids, being around kids my entire life. Not as much as being around pregnant women, but I knew I had a strong desire, a strong connection to be with and around this group and population of people. So I decided when I started working at the birth center, that really kind of honed in on like wanting to be a part of this birth community. I didn't really know what all the birth community had to deal with, acted in, what they did, who they were, but I knew like I want to be a part of this. So when I found out the statistics for Black women birthing, that Black and brown women are more than 3 to 4 times more likely to die during childbirth or thereafter during that postpartum period within that first year or so, finding out the infant mortality morbidity rates, finding out the pregnancy mortality morbidity rates, I knew that, or the maternal mortality morbidity rates, I knew that I needed to be a part of something that aided in that, because my first reaction was fear. My first reaction was, I don't even want to put myself, to set myself to being a part of that. So I don't want to have kids at all. Then I said, no, Kamisha, that's not the answer. The answer is not don't have children at all. The answer is finding a way to navigate, to be a part of change that will help aid in better numbers. So I found out what a doula was, took my training. I took my training with Matrona, Holistic Doula, did that in 2019, and then met some amazing people along the way. And I started with gaining more knowledge. I didn't instantly dive into work. I worked at the birth center. So I would talk to patients, kind of see what their needs were, gauging what they needed, what was out there, what the desire was for people, not just for me as a new doula, but just like what parents needed. And so I had also done some work with the National Black Doula Association. They had done like a training at the birth center. And so I kind of sat in on that just to get like different perspectives of like what this work had to do with. And I've grabbed different tidbits from other different places, organizations, kind of all throughout my career here. So I've kind of been a doula since 2019, so to speak. I took a little hiatus, and this is my like homecoming back to a work that means so much to me, but it's also they're quite jarring for me to be a part of. During my time away, I found out that I am struggling or am currently working through my own infertility journey. And in that, I stepped away from the work because I knew that I couldn't pour from a place that was broken to me. And I feel so deeply when I do this work. I feel so deeply when I'm connecting with my families that I work with and the people that I work with that I was in such a, I don't want to say broken place, but I was in a space that if somebody were to pour water in me, my vase had cracks in it, you know? So the water that was being poured and given to me was just seeping out of the bottom of it. And I couldn't mend the cracks without them opening back up in the space that I was at during that time. So I decided it was just best for me to step away while I worked through what was paining me. And in that step away time, saw some specialists, did some things, and we're still working through it. But in that time, it allowed me to heal through stepping completely away from birth work. Like, I needed to completely remove myself from the work itself. And in that, I never was fully away. I had friends that were pregnant. Anytime somebody brought up pregnancy, I was like, oh, I have some knowledge here. I got something, like I can contribute to this conversation. So I was never like fully detached, but for me, I was detached enough to where I wasn't like in my doula bag like I was before. I wasn't in my postpartum heart like I was before. So I just was away. I needed that time. And that time away has afforded me a beautiful opportunity to kind of rebirth myself, if you will, back into a work that means so much to me. Every time I talk about this work, it just lights me up on the inside. Being a Black woman and being a Black woman birthing, or being a Black woman and supporting other Black people birthing, it is hard. It is heavy. It is so rewarding, yet so painful. Yet I want to save those that I can save. I want to help those that I can help. But also, I'm so frustrated at how the system works. And it's the system problems. My therapist and I were talking about just different things and how systemically the system is so broken in so many areas, not just in the maternal area, but in healthcare as a whole. There are so many systemic issues that need reconstructing and redoing and remolding, that it's deeper than me, it's deeper than the work that I do, but the work that I do can contribute to systemic changes. And so I think that I'm ready to be back on that line, to aid in somebody else's healing, aid in somebody else's rebirthing and transition and moving and shaping. I want to be a part of that in a way that fuels my spirit. I am at the point in my life where I want the work that I do to matter, to hold weight, to make a difference. And if I'm not doing something that is fueling my spirit in that way, it just doesn't feel like it's worth doing. So that is my like welcome back and homage back to birth work as a whole, because I love the work. I really do. It really lights my fire. It really helps me be. And I have supported so many. so many amazing families in my journey along, from labor to postpartum to vaginal deliveries to belly births to you name it. And they aren't just my client, they become my family, they become like friends. And though I haven't talked to them in such a long time, if I were to reach out, if I were to say, like, hey, I'm stepping back into this work, I know that they would support me in a way that felt like, girl, why did you even leave in the first place? We were wondering when you were stepping back. I had somebody call me and was like, hey, so I don't care what you say. When I have my next baby, you're coming out of retirement. And I'm like, oh, am I? You're telling me that I'm coming out of retirement for you? You might catch me on a good day, and I might just hop out of retirement for you. We'll see. Only time can tell. I don't know how I'm going to show up in my doula space. I know what I want. I know what I don't want. I know what works for me and what doesn't work for me, but I'm also open. Birth is such a wide range. Doula work is such a wide range. There's no one way to birth, just like there's no one way to doula. Um, the base knowledge is the same. How you work the knowledge is different. So how I want to show up for myself first and then my clients has to be sustainable, but also feel right in my spirit so that I can give to them. I feel like now the vase that once had cracks in it, I got rid of that vase and I have put new flowers in a new vase. And that one is polished and it's pristine. And is it still working out its kinks? Yes, it is still being decorated. But the base of it is whole, and that is the space in which I'm operating out of. So, this is my welcome back to birth work. This is my welcome back to a space and a world and a group of people that, being away from it so long, I find that are my people in the way that I want to show up in this world, in this space. We only get one life. We only get one opportunity to walk in our path and walk in our calling and be who God has called us to be. And obedience will get you further than sacrificing your mind and spirit, fighting against what you know God has called you to do and God has called you to be. And I feel like being in this birth workspace, this is where God has called me to be. It is a space that has pained me, but it's also a space that makes me whole. And I can't be disobedient and wonder why in my disobedience I have frustration in some of the work that I do. It's because you're not doing the work that you're supposed to be doing. And in birth work, that is the work that I have been called and ordained to be a part of. Do I have different avenues in my life where I operate in different spaces? Absolutely. But in this lane, in this area, in this era, this is where I feel like God has replanted my feet and helped me root some things and edge some things out. And that is a piece of like etching life with Ayanna. Ayanna is trying to figure out where God is calling her, how God is calling her to show up, how she needs to plant herself in this season so that she's rooted in the word of God and rooted in the things that God has called her, me being Ayanna, me to be. And that is where I am. That is where we are in the start of 2026. I know we are like 3 months in, really, almost 4 because it's truly almost April. But birth work is a calling. Birth work is sacred, and sacred in a sense of I can't give the same level of care to everybody. The work is sacred because there's no, for me as a doula, one blanket way to show up. I have to show up where my clients need me to be. I have worked with some clients who've lost parents while I've been caring for them. And I've had to show up differently than I would show up with somebody who has all the support and all the things that they need right at their beck and call. But for me, it's in those trying times, trying moments that really bend the corner for the work that I do, bend the corner for the way that I can show up for them as their standing family. Some people, their doula is all they have. Some people move to, let's say you're in Atlanta or you're in DC or you're in California. These people have moved across states, across country lines, and you might be the only person that can help them feel grounded and rooted in where they are. Pregnancy didn't go looking for some people, pregnancy found them. Some people are rooting out to be pregnant. So the way that people show up in their pregnancies, in their day to day life, just looks very, very different. And it will behoove me to put everybody in that same box. And as a doula, as your doula, as a person that does this work, I don't want to put everybody in the same box. I hate being put in the same box as other people. Don't box me in. I like to live outside. Let me color outside the lines. There's creativity outside of the lines, and birth is very much outside of the lines. So I want to show up as somebody that can support people outside of the shaded boxed line. And let's do some work. Let's get you to the finish line, but also let's get your soul to a different space. Let's get your heart ready for the transition that it's about to go through, because postpartum is forever, kind of. If you have a baby, you're never the person that you were before. I don't know if you ever find the person that you were before. Now you're a person that's caring for a human. You're a person that has lived through whatever your birth experience has become, good, bad, or indifferent. So I want to help you support who you are becoming, but also the person that you don't recognize on the back end. In postpartum, you may look in the mirror and say, like, I have no idea who this person is that I'm looking at. And that's not a bad thing. Your body has changed, your mind has changed, your life has changed instantaneously. You went to bed pregnant, you woke up, had a baby. Now you're a mother, you know? So it is daunting to be a new parent, just how it can be daunting to be a doula. But I walk hand in hand with you. I walk hand in hand with your family. I walk hand in hand as you navigate this journey, not just through birth, but through postpartum, through transitions in your life. That is how I choose to show up for my people. And I hope that as I walk through, step through, navigate through this journey for what I am calling my welcome back to the birth space, that I can give from a cup that has been newly remodeled. That is not just a cup, but it is a vase that can hold so much more water, can be a root of plants for what I see for myself and for my business as things progress for me. I am so grateful to have found this work. I'm so grateful to have walked into this season of my life. And I'm just so thankful for the people that I'll get to support down the line. And I'm so thankful that you have decided to sit with me in this corner of my world as I am navigating and etching my life back through doula work. Thank you for listening to another episode, but thank you for walking with me along this journey. So come sit with me in my corner of the world. Come sit with me as I navigate through what birth work has called out for me to be a part of, but also come sit with me as we continue the season of Etching Life with Ayanna, the podcast edition. Some amazing things are coming down the pipeline. Please, please, please stay tuned. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Go back and watch the previous episodes. Follow us on all of our social medias. Etching Life with Ayanna. I have some amazing things coming down the pipeline, coming down your way. So be on the lookout for those. I love you with the love of the Lord. Until next time, beautiful people. Bye.